Welcome back, Ram fans. What do we have for you today? We have a little special drop for you here. We're going to talk about our Fearsome 4 draft picks that we were overly excited about, that I was overly excited about, wrongly excited about. We're going to go through those 1 through 4. Before I get started, make sure you check out our podcast. If you're only visiting this YouTube channel, you can listen to it here, or you can listen to it on almost any platform. Rams Up Podcast usually drops Sunday night, Monday morning this time of year. So let's get into these Fearsome 4 draft picks I was wrongly excited about. I'm going to start out with 1996, the 6th overall pick in the draft, out of Nebraska, the running back Lawrence Phillips. A lot of teams were extremely concerned about him. He had some violent incidences at the university there. Some teams took him off their board entirely. Baltimore, some thought they were going to take him with the 5th pick. They opted for a offensive lineman by the name of Jonathan Ogden. So Phillips was available to the Rams, and when the Rams selected him, I was pumped. I thought, we got the guy, we got the steal of the draft, but it didn't work out. Phillips performed okay for 2 years. And by the way, when the Rams drafted him, they still had Jerome Bettis on their roster. They promptly traded him to Pittsburgh. And Phillips was okay, but there were still issues. Apparently, Vermeil got into a confrontation with him after trainers reported he was showing up with alcohol on his breath. They ended up getting rid of him, and things eventually spiraled out of control for Phillips. He ended up in jail, ran a car into some guys at a pickup football game in Los Angeles, and then he was charged with killing a cellmate, and then eventually committed suicide. So it was a pretty sad end for Lawrence Phillips. I think he had some issues that go beyond the football field, but I was excited about the Rams drafting him, guilty as charged, and I was dead wrong, obviously. Number 2 on this Fearsome 4 list of draft picks I was wrongly excited about. This is chronological here, by the way. In 2000, the 31st pick in the NFL draft, the Rams drafted Trung Candidate, and I thought he was the heir apparent to Marshall Faulk. I think the Rams did too. Again, he had he showed signs of promise. I wouldn't say he was an okay running back. Never really panned out. He was with the Rams for 3 years. I think he had 98 carries by the time the Rams moved on from Trung Candidate. He just looked like a very special player, extremely fast. And, I think I'm probably like most fans. I get excited about skill players. Those are the guys you get excited about. I'm not talking here, by the way, about just bad draft picks. Rams have had plenty of bad draft picks. I'm talking about draft picks that I was just stoked about, and I turned out to be wrong. Next up, 2010. In the 4th round, I was excited about the 99th pick overall, Mardy Gilyard out of Cincinnati. This is one of those guys who was showing up on YouTube even back then. Extremely exciting player, and didn't really last. He stayed in the NFL for quite a while with several teams, never really made his mark though. Mardy Gilyard, a wide receiver that I was pumped about. And last but not least, in 2013, the 8th pick overall, the Rams moved up, traded up to the 8th pick, and drafted Tavon Austin. And I have to tell you, I think Tavon Austin gets a bad evaluation by Ram fans. He was actually very talented and somewhat productive, just not as productive as we hoped. And how many times did he get screwed by holding calls on punt returns? But it never really happened to the magnitude that we hoped with the 8th overall pick and the excitement that was generated. He still has, as my special assistant likes to say, the most impressive and exciting highlight film out of college than any player still to this day. Go back and look at it, and you watch that and you go, oh my God, this guy is going to light it up. And he did, but the amount of the excitement I felt was never really warranted in at least on the field for the Rams. Tavon Austin, love the guy. Like I say, he made his mark a little bit with the Rams, had some good seasons, but I have to say I was wrongly excited about that draft pick. So that's my fearsome 4 draft picks that I was wrongly excited about. Lawrence Phillips, Trump candidate, Mardy Gilyard, and Tavon Austin. And, as I built this list, there were 7 or 8 other guys that I considered, just couldn't do it. Those are my 4. Like it or not, we'll be back Sunday night with another podcast and back to this YouTube channel midweek with another little video for you. That's it. Out here from Rams Up.